Hey everyone, it's James with Cowboy Cricket Farms here. Happy Friday. So, last couple weeks we've had some pretty interesting things going on. I'm sure that some of you have been keeping up on our social media, our Facebook and stuff. If not, check out the link in the description below for all of our different social media feeds. We've got some new grants that were coming up. We've been talking to some investors and, you know what, decided kind of not to go that route right now. But that got me thinking, you know, we've funded Cowboy Cricket Farms almost entirely off of grants and awards, but there's so many different ways to fund your cricket farm. So let's talk about that. Now really, the things I'm going to tell you about today, it's not just cricket farms. It's any business. Pretty much any business, especially innovative ones, can be funded in a few different ways. So let's talk about those. Let's go over your options. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of each. And then you can decide what is available to you, what is best for you, and really how you're going to go about funding your cricket farm or other business for that matter. Now, how we actually paid for all of this is a bit convoluted, and I have to say, hey, thank you, Volkswagen, because of your dirty diesel emission stuff with the whole Dieselgate. That actually helped fund this. So, kind of in retrospect, is Volkswagen saving the world? I don't know. Anyways, here's what happened. So I was gone for a while with the Army, just training stuff, but when I came back, we'd gotten our car, our Volkswagen Passat TDI, completely paid off by then. And I get back in like September, and come October, I might have the month off a little bit there, they announce, oh no, the Volkswagen diesels have been really kind of lying to people. Now, we always loved our car. It got great fuel economy. It got, it had good power. It was comfortable. Everything was good. But apparently the emissions were actually just not what they said they were. So Volkswagen decided to buy back a lot of these cars. I shouldn't really say decided, they were made to. Either way, a bunch of these cars got bought back, including ours, and Volkswagen paid us nearly $32,000 for our car. It was a few $100s off of new. So that was awesome for us, right? And so we knew that we were about to get this business going. We were really trying to figure out how the heck we're gonna pay for all this. So we gave them our car and they gave us a big check, and we went and bought a used car. And that's actually the Dodge Durango that you see in some of our social media, and if you've ever seen us cruising around to different shows, our cricket car is a big Dodge Durango. We bought that used, and we took the balance and put it towards the cricket farms. So we took that money and started getting kind of, okay, well, here's how much it's going to cost to run the farm, here's how much it's going to cost to build everything. That's a time for a whole separate video. But we kind of knew our costs, or we thought we did, up front, and we knew that we weren't going to get very far. So we started looking for help. And one of the things we found was Blackstone Launchpad at Montana State University. And in fact, there are Blackstones all throughout the country, and they're really helpful for business planning. But they got us in touch with a few other places. So we ended up competing for some awards. The first award that we won was second place at the Montana Tourism Conference, and that was about $2,500 cash that we won. So check, but either way, they wrote us a check, and we had a little bit more money. And oh man, you can hear all those crickets going. I like it. So we took that money, and then we did a little video competition that Blackstone was putting on. Won $1,000 from that. And then we kept rolling it over, and we entered for the John Raffato competition in Missoula, put on by University of Montana, not to be confused with Montana State University in Bozeman, both great schools. And we actually ended up winning not just first place, but also audience awards, most likely to launch, and best manufactured product. And those 4 awards, besides the publicity, also got us $20,500. Now, all of this is non-dilutive funds. And what that means is that this is money that's coming into us that we are not giving up equity for. So we'll talk about venture capital and angels and stuff in a second, but this is all money that just comes to us. It's just an award, it's a prize, right? Now, the other kind of non-dilutive funds you have are your own money, awards, grants, which we'll talk about in a second, and sales. And sales are the best kind of funding you can get. They're also about the hardest type of funding you can get, because you need a product, and then you need customers, and then you need to hook up your customers with the product, and it gets complicated, right? Now, of course, we make that really easy for our partner farmers. If you have a farm and you're in our network, we'll buy all your stuff. We need the crickets, okay? So we make that easy for our folks. But if you're an independent farmer, or if you're developing another technology, or if you have a whole business completely separate from all of this, then yeah, customers are key. So what we did was we worked with the Bug Buffet at MSU and demonstrated this chocolate chip cookie that we had just come up with. And we just had 6 samples. It wasn't like a real product or anything yet. We just had 6 samples. It was made by a local bakery for us. And we put them there. They're going to get auctioned off. However, by the time the auction came, they had all walked away. So, well, if people were willing to steal the cookies, maybe they were willing to buy them. So we started selling those on our website, and sure enough, they did. We got retail orders, and we got wholesale orders. So those go all over the country now. I'm sure many of you have actually had them, and if you haven't, go on our website and try them. They're delicious. You can get a half dozen right on there. Use the code VETS to save 15%, as well as 5% will go to Transitions from War, fantastic veteran mental health organization led by a guy named Mike Ergo in California. Also, we have $1 shipping now, so bam, if you're in the US, $1 shipping. Okay, so back on track. Sales are the best way, because not only are you getting money, but you're also gaining customers. And if you do a good job with your customers, they'll tell their friends and family, and then you'll get more customers, which means more money. That's good. That's how the business runs. But let's say that you're a little bit before that, or even as you get it. What are some ways that you can do something kind of creative, that you can develop something new? Well, the best way is probably grants. Now, grants are also non-dilutive, and unlike a loan that you have to pay back, grants are free money. Now, usually grants are coming from universities or the government, but there are some NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that will give out grants. The Gates Foundation, for instance, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is famous for, you know, really innovative problem-solving grants and prizes. So go and find some of these. We've personally received some from the USDA, from the State Department of Agriculture, from the State Department of Commerce, from the university, Montana State University. There's a lot of these out there. I suggest that you go and do some research, maybe find a help organization. If you're in Montana, MTIP, M-T-I-P is a great one, but almost every state has some sort of a help organization for writing grants and finding grants, especially for creative and innovative projects, innovative agriculture like crickets. There's a lot of help out there, but it is some work. You know, so balance your time. If you have the availability, I certainly suggest it. Plus, it's really, really good validation for your business. So grants are awesome, obviously, if you're just doing sales, and prize money from awards. But what if you need to scale a little bit quicker? Or what if none of those are options for you? Well, you have 2 more types of funding: loans and equity. So what is the difference between loan and equity? Some of you may already know this, but brief summary: loans are still going to generally be non-dilutive, so they're not taking anything from your business. You own all of your business still. But they're going to charge you an interest rate, and they want you to show revenue. And it's kind of tricky to get a loan if you don't have revenue, and sometimes you need the revenue to get a loan. And you know, it's kind of a catch-22. You already have to be going. Plus, you usually have to have really good credit and be willing to sign something. So in our past, we've had a couple other businesses, And unfortunately, one of them failed. And so, our credit really just took a huge hit from this one failed business. And it's been very, very difficult for us to get a loan, despite the traction that we've shown in the industry and, the sales that we've had and the social impact that we've had, the awesome awards. Without an awesome credit rating, it's pretty tough, especially for a business loan. They'll give you a car loan all day long, right? You can go to your Ford or Chevy dealer and get a $40,000 car loan, nothing down, and you don't even have to show proof of income. But try getting a $35,000 business loan, even if you have $70,000 of equipment to back it, and they'll say it's not enough. I don't know why this is. I think it's a travesty, but hey, I don't own a bank, so what do I know? So there's loans. You can get loans from friends and family. Be careful about how, the regulations about this. While it's generally an unregulated industry, technically there are certain things that you have to be concerned about. The last form of funding is equity. And so this comes down to either angel or venture capital funding. Now, we've spoken with a lot of angels and several VCs in, I don't know how many states at this point, Texas, New York, California, a few in Montana. And something that we've noticed is, one, they want huge returns. I mean, 10x is the low side, right? If they give you $1, they want $10 back. But usually it's 20 or 40x, and they want you to do that in 5 or 7 years, or they're not even interested. The other thing is, a lot of them have different forms of kind of barriers to entry as far as the amount of money that they are willing to give. So some of them only go up to $500,000. Some of them don't, want a minimum of 15 million. And so if you're not a big growth company, they don't even want to talk to you. So you have to make sure that you get the right kind of VCs with the that fit your business. A lot of them invest in either agriculture or tech or whatever, right? They have a specialty. Now, a VC is very different than an angel. How a venture capital firm works is a whole bunch of accredited investors, which means that basically you make over a certain threshold, I think it's $200,000, and you have at least $1 million of net worth, not including your primary residence. And so you're able to invest in privately held companies versus publicly held companies on the stock exchange. By being an accredited investor, you can invest also in a venture capital firm. And so basically the VC firm will invest your money for you versus being an angel where you are investing your own money into companies that you vet yourself. Now, personally, I would love to work with an angel investor that actually understands our firm, because the venture capitalists are all about making money for their clients. They're a business. The angels, on the other hand, oftentimes are doing it for a different reason. They may not want those huge returns. Sometimes they do, but they also may be interested more in the social impact. So this would be a really, really good way that if you have a wealthy friend, family, just someone that you have access to that really believes in the cause of what you and your business are doing, to go and talk to them, because they may be willing to be a financial partner in your business. So that's an angel, right? Angels operate on their own. VCs take a whole bunch of money, put together into a fund, and invest from that fund into a business. So that's how you can go out there and fund your cricket farm, or any business for that matter. Really, all of those operate for all businesses, whether you're operating a lemonade stand or a cricket farm or a Fortune 500 company, they all go and do that. Now, once you do grow your business, eventually there are other kinds of funding, such as an IPO or initial public offering. This is when you're going to go put your company basically on the stock exchange, and anyone can go and invest in it through a brokerage firm. So Microsoft, for instance, right? They are a publicly traded company. If you go on the stock exchange, you can see their little ticker symbol, and however, let's say their share is $70, you give them $70 and you get a share. And really, the thing is that a company only makes money off of that IPO the first time that's made available. After that, any shares that are out there floating around in the public, the company's not making any money off of that. They are just benefiting off of if that share price goes up and obviously they don't want it to go down because then that would devalue their company. But really it's that IPO. But you don't even need to worry about that unless your company is making a whole bunch of money and it's really high in growth and you want to make it publicly available. There is one other way that's kind of, it is a public offering, but it's for non-publicly traded companies. And this was created with the Jobs Act, and it allows non-accredited investors, right? We already talked about accredited or sophisticated investors with certain net worths. So non-accredited investors can go and invest in certain companies that have gone through their state's regulatory procedures or through the federal regulatory procedures with the SEC. That's a really complicated thing. There's some companies out there that you can get into, like republic.co, they do that kind of stuff. So that's a whole different thing. Stand by the way, for things rolling out soon in Montana. Anyways, that's all I have for today, folks. I know this is kind of a dry video, not the most exciting thing in the world, but I do think that's really, really important. In a month or two, I'm probably going to talk about how to do a business plan, how to do a marketing proposal. That's my job. That's what I actually do, right? I get all the cogs rolling in this engine, and I make sure that the business keeps moving along. Kathy's the brains behind the whole thing. I'm just a pretty face. So, until next time, my friends, stay chirpy, and please make sure to like and subscribe below. Bye.